Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm not going to get into the full thing right now, but just wanted to kind of give a quick update as we continue to process Ananda Lewis's passing and just the breast cancer diagnosis. I was able to find a lot more information about her actual subtype of breast cancer, which I think is very important for, other women to know, other breast cancer survivors, those that are thriving, dealing with it, all of that. I think it's important for us to know, not only that she had breast cancer, not only what her decisions were that she chose with her treatment, but what actually was her subtype of breast cancer. And so in my previous video, I did not have that information, but I've been able to find the Essence article and the Let's Be Clear episode, the podcast episode that she was on. And honestly, she was very transparent. I don't know why you can't just Google what subtype of breast cancer that Ananda Lewis had and it not pop up. And so honestly, that's the purpose of me doing this video, and just to basically give a little bit of encouragement. All right, so again, I was able to find the Essence article, which I will tag below, where she gave a lot of information about her journey, and that's where she provided her subtype of breast cancer. Now, I will say, and I'm going to back her in this, she also made the statement that a woman can do every single thing that the doctor has recommended, and they can still end up with stage 4 breast cancer. What it's important to know is that every woman is different, and every person's diagnosis is different. And so when we hear that this person followed exactly what the doctor said, and, it progressed, to stage 4, and it met and did all of this, we need to know more about the actual diagnosis. What was the actual diagnosis? Was it inflammatory? Was it something that was more aggressive? Was it something with genetics? Y'all, cancer is such a complicated diagnosis, and one size does not fit all. And I'm sorry, I wish that we can say that it was just as simple as, you go through chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and everybody, survives it, and nobody deals with any type of recurrence, and nobody deals with any type of metastasis and all of that. We can't say that, unfortunately. No one, doctors just can't put that stamp of approval on everyone's diagnosis. And so she's correct. But I will say that there are long-term survivors. There are a lot of long-term survivors for all different types of subtypes of breast cancer. And so it's important to know that, yes, statistically, because we're going to go on Google, as much as I tell people don't go on Google, people go on Google anyway. That's the main thing you don't need to do when you receive a breast cancer diagnosis, because the Google is going to be so generic with the statistics about everything that unfortunately it doesn't give you a good picture of what the majority of women outcomes are. And so, stay off of Google, because it's just not a good source. It's not a reliable source for a lot of people. Even with me searching for this information to find out what Ananda Lewis's, breast cancer subtype was, it wasn't that easy to find. For one, it would be a HIPAA violation for her information to be, just out there. Doctors can't share that information. It has to be information that she shared. But the good thing is she actually did share it. She shared it, but no one else is really talking about it. Everyone is staying surface level with the diagnosis, as if breast cancer is a one size fits all type of diagnosis, and it's not. And so in me doing this, it's because I know, just like, anybody else that has gone down this path, that has really gotten invested with their diagnosis and what they're dealing with, you go down this path to find people who have the same exact diagnosis as you, and what their outcome was, what their treatment was, what were their choices, decisions, and all of that, because that's what helps you make an informed decision. And so that's why I took the time out to find it, and I'm so glad I was able to find this information. Again, she shared it, so it's no HIPAA violation, because she shared her information, and she shared it in her Essence article that she did. And so that information was now made public, and now I think it's an opportunity to be able to help someone else. And so, again, she's right with that. However, we got to hear all the wins. And there's a whole lot of women that are in groups that I follow on Facebook and all of that have a whole lot of wins. And that's the type of information that I think would have been beneficial for her in her decision choice if she had seen if she had seen the outcome of women as long-term survivors who actually did the, recommendations of their doctors. I don't know for sure. Like I said, ultimately it's her decision, but I think it's important for people to know. And so here we have it. So Ananda Lewis was diagnosed actually in January. She found her lump in December of 2018. In January of 2019, that's when she was able to go in and get her biopsy done. And so at that time, she was diagnosed with ER/PR positive, HER2 negative, stage 3 breast cancer. So for anyone that's watching this and they are also wondering, what exactly was she diagnosed with? Was it triple negative? Was it ER/PR positive, ER/PR negative? What was it? Ananda Lewis, from her words, not mine. Again, this was in the Essence article that she did. Ananda Lewis was diagnosed with ER/PR positive, HER2 negative breast cancer. All right, stage 3. When I found this information, it only broke my heart even more, and I'll tell you why. It broke my heart because I know so many long-term survivors with that same exact diagnosis. And so honestly, let this video be encouragement. I'm not doing this to scare anyone. So I don't want anyone to watch this after they've been diagnosed with the same subtype as Ananda and watch this and get terrified thinking like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it. Oh my God, it's going to met to somewhere else in my body, because that's not the case for everyone. We also need to encourage women and let them know that a woman can also be diagnosed with that same subtype of breast cancer and be a long-term survivor. I know one personally. That is someone who encouraged me on my journey. It is important for us to know the good and the bad, the wins and the losses, okay? And so yes, it is extremely heartbreaking to lose Ananda. Most of us feel like that is too soon. She's gone too soon. I feel like it's gone too soon. And like I said, knowing that there are long-term survivors out there, it should give someone hope. And I will say this, the long-term survivor that I know personally listened to her doctor and she did everything that they recommended. There are other long-term survivors that I know. I don't know them all personally, but I'm saying this from a group that I'm in. There are a lot of support groups for young women who are diagnosed with breast cancer, where we all encourage each other. We all share what our subtypes are, how long we are survivors, and all of that good stuff. And so there are other women that I have seen share their stories in this group who are long-term survivors with the same exact diagnosis, ER/PR positive, HER2 negative, stage 3. It is important. One of the things that I do to encourage women when I talk with them for the first time when they receive their diagnosis is tell them how important it is to know that cancer today, when you get your diagnosis, is not what it was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. And so when you get that diagnosis, I don't care what you have in your mind. I don't care what fears you are holding on to, what trauma, all of that. You have to remove yourself from that so that you can face your diagnosis for yourself and not carry anyone else's baggage into your diagnosis with you. All right. The other thing that I definitely tell them to do is you cannot sit on there and Google all the statistics that shows up in Google. It's important. What I'm going to say is it's important for you to not be on Google looking at statistics. What you have to do is connect with other survivors. You have to find groups with survivors. I don't care if you're like, I don't want to share anything. That's why we have the beauty of social media. You can be in a Facebook group and hear and listen to other women testify, and you can witness and all of that and not share a word. You can come in there as quiet as a mouse. Nobody don't see you. They don't have to look at you. You don't have to post your pictures, none of that. But you can have access to other women's stories and their survivorship stories to give yourself encouragement. Okay. And so it's important. You have to connect. One of the main things that I did was connect with other survivors, because it was important for me to know their story, their journey, their treatment path, and everything, the good, the bad, all of that came with it, so that I can make an informed decision. You have to do that, because I feel like the more you're connecting with other survivors, the more you're hearing women that have these long-term survival stories, and you find out what they did to get there, the more it encourages you to know not only that you can make it through that same treatment that they got through, but you can also make it and be a long-term survivor too. That's important, y'all. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm fussing today. I know I don't usually fuss in my videos, but this is important to know. And so I wanted to come in and give that quick update because, you know, I think it's important for us to know what her diagnosis actually was, because I think that that's important for anybody who's going through a breast cancer journey when they're making decisions. Because again, you can't make your decision based off of somebody else. You can't. I don't know what the number is going to be, but there are going to be, you know, plenty of women that are going to be diagnosed past this time of us learning that Ananda has passed away. And there are women, unfortunately, that are going to receive the same diagnosis. It is important for them to know what her diagnosis was, what her treatment decisions were, and what some other women diagnoses were, and what their treatment decisions were too. We can't just listen to that part of it and make an informed decision. All right. So again, sorry if it sounded like I was fussing with this video, but I wanted to be able to share that information. You guys continue to like, follow, subscribe. I have more information coming out. I will have more information with my own personal update very, very soon, but I had to come on and share this update real quick because I think that it is important for us to know. All right. Thank you. Bye.